We're here in room 3.
That's all.
I think we're in room 3. Yeah, let me grab another chair real quick.
Colin, where do you want to sit? What makes you most comfortable? In an uncomfortable situation, what's the most comfortable?
I'll sit here.
Okay.
This is great too.
Make sure all that's unlocked. Alright, so I'll grab like a broken chair. So but yeah, so first, before we start anything, I just want to make sure that you're very, very clear. You're free to go at any time. You don't have to stay down here at any point in time. If you're like, I've had enough, I'm done, I'm ready to go. That's 100% up to you.
I wasn't even considering that last time. I just wasn't even didn't have like.
Oh, you were going through a whirlwind of emotions last time. So
yeah. Anyway,
I mean,
neither here nor there.
Everything I turned upside down, so I get it. Alright, but so I do want to say, so I was able to go back and corroborate a lot of the stuff that you ended up telling me the last time, like where you were and what all happened and where you had been and stuff, and so I definitely do appreciate how honest you were about all that stuff.
Absolutely.
It definitely helped out, and like I said, I mean, I was able to corroborate every single thing that you said, so I know for a fact that you weren't lying about that stuff. Okay. So I do appreciate all that. Yeah.
Seems obvious, but.
So that night that, so you leave the Pool Burger.
Yes, sir.
And you go from there and you head back to where Mo was staying.
Yes.
Over at Cash's house.
Yes.
Whenever you pulled up, what was it that was the first thing that, I mean, basically, I guess really whenever you pulled up, like, what was it you saw?
I don't have any. I've been there about four or five times in the past, and I just don't have any. I've never actually driven, because I've only been in a vehicle, a car, I guess. Yeah. I've never been there on a motorcycle, so I've never actually driven into the alley ever. So my experience before would be parking on the street, kind of at the front of the main house, and then walking. I don't know. I think it's the kind of east-west out, a different alley, east-west.
Okay.
And then, so this was the first time I'd ever driven a motorcycle. Because I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't like. I don't know. It was my first experience driving a motorcycle there, so it wasn't really. I can't compare it to anything. It wasn't. I didn't see anything out of the or any cars parked in the alley. It's a narrow. I just didn't see anything that comes to mind in terms of like things that are set in my mind that could have been unusual or flagged as unusual for that experience of just pulling into this alley, dropping your friend off. I mean, it wasn't really.
Oh, of course.
Scanning I mean, it's new East Austin. It's just.
Yeah.
Doesn't strike me as a place where I need to be.
Yeah.
On edge.
Yeah.
So I can't say there's anything.
Okay. So as you
came to mind about that moment when we pulled up to this, the door, the bottom of the stairs.
So as you're coming down the alley, you're pulling up, stop at the bottom of the stairs. Was there anybody like hanging out around there? Was the gate closed to the fence? Was the gate open? So you have the stairs that go up, and then you have like the little grassy area right here, and then like further behind that is like an actual gate.
I don't know what grassy area. You mean like on the same property?
Yes. Yeah. So I call it a grassy area. I don't even know if I would.
Again, I don't have a frame of reference for what that gate. I don't even know. I don't have a visual imprint of what that gate looks like, so I couldn't tell you if it was closed or open.
Okay.
I mean, I imagine it's a garage apartment and there's a garage, so it makes sense that there's a gate under the stairs, but I couldn't tell you.
Okay. But nothing like that stood out to you.
No.
Okay. And then what about?
I don't remember anything ajar. I mean, again, I just wasn't. I have a passenger, and the most dangerous time on a motorcycle. Well, not most, but it's always. When you're at low speed, it's always very dangerous. You know, it's high chance
Yeah.
to tip over because you don't have inertia. So I just, at that point, I'm always really like focused on coming to rest without, you know, tipping over.
Yeah.
So I wasn't like scanning
Okay.
the scene, and then I had my attention on Mo as she's, you know, I opened the case for her to get her things, and that was all that I have in my mind. I mean, I would definitely note anything that would be like striking or out of ordinary.
Okay. Whenever you stopped and you're sitting there, I know you mentioned something last time about the garage door.
Yes, the garage door was ajar, but I'm certain that was when I picked her up, which was around in the afternoon, you know, 5 or something, and it was, the garage door was this much open, and I just remember saying, oh, your landlord has, not your landlord, Cash's landlord has a couple of cool Porsches.
Yeah.
An old 944 and I think it was a Boxster S, because the garage was like open enough you could see the tags on them.
Okay.
But that was it.
Okay. Whenever you came back, was that garage door, was it closed all the way now, or do you remember?
I think it was closed at that point. I'm sure it wasn't. I didn't notice. I would have noticed. It was a white Porsche Boxster, so I would have noticed, because it's, you know, it was dark. It was like almost, it was twilight, and that car would have been white. I would have noticed it, because I'm very perceptive of just colors. From racing a bicycle, you're hyper tuned to things, crashes, everything. So I'm good at noticing things in my field.
Okay.
You know. So.
Do you remember if
I didn't notice, oh, something white.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Porsche.
So
I would be 90% sure it would have been closed.
Okay.
That's all I could say.
And was there anything sitting, like, because you know where Cash parks?
Right? I don't.
Okay, so like right there next to the stairs, there's that little carport area.
Up pulling under the stairs?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and so, was there any car right there?
No.
Was there,
not that I would have noticed, because I would have been in close proximity to where we pulled up. I stopped probably, like, I would stop, like, I don't have exact, I would stop 4 feet from the stairs.
Yeah.
And that would have been in, like, the zone that I would have been having to maneuver, and I don't remember any obstacles of any kind there. So I think it was an empty spot. If there was a car there, I would have noticed it, absolutely.
Okay. And so you mentioned that you originally, I think you said sometime like around 5:45 or something. I'm probably off with the time, but sometime around that general time was when everyone picked her up originally.
I would have to see my phone,
because
I texted her when I essentially hit a traffic jam for the closure at essentially MLK near the stadium.
Yeah.
That was like insane, because they had the entire MLK from Lavaca all the way to 35 was funneled to one lane, and there's a series of stoplights. So it was a literal clusterfuck of like people jammed, people can't get through the light because it's still traffic, then another. So it was this wastegate issue of. So I actually went, because I'm like a bike cyclist at heart, so I'm like trying to avoid it. So I went and did like tried to cut up the, like by the I'm trying to just get through this traffic jam. And I pulled towards, this is when I'm still like near the university. And I've ridden my bike through there. I went to school at UT, so I know there's like bicycle routes up through there, and I was going to try to get onto anyway, I did like a couple little like loops looking for a way to get away from this thing that looks like a 10-minute delay. So, you know, and then I saw there was an event, there was an event or something, and there were little parking guards who were like, you can't go through here, you can't cut up to the, anyway, this is neither, I mean, it is relevant, but it's.
This is how you got there?
This is how I got there the first time, so I don't know exactly when I arrived, because it was such like a.
Of course.
Which I'm sure you can see, like.
Yeah, and of course, and that was, I wasn't trying to stick you to a straight time, I just remember it was sometime around there. But what I was trying to get to was more of whenever you did get there, and you stopped your motorcycle, you get off. Did you go up the stairs at that point?
I did, yeah, I went up the stairs.
And so as you go up the stairs, like, what do you see?
I see Mo's bicycle travel case, bundled up, just like as you would do if you were you know, you'd unpack your bike, and it's a big floppy case that essentially fits over a bicycle. It's a travel case for the airport. And I see that, like, almost like tacoed, sitting, like, running parallel to the stairs on the deck.
Okay.
And I see that to the right, I notice that, and then I just go up to the door, I knock, she answers it. I don't think I texted. I don't remember if I texted I'm here or not.
Yeah.
It's possible. So walked up to the door, knocked on it. It's a tiny apartment, so
yeah.
She opened the door. I think we hugged.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. I would see that as like obvious. And then I see her bike is like right next to the door.
Inside?
So imagine this is the entry to the.
Okay. Yeah.
So she's here. I'm outside. I knock on the door. Her bicycle's sitting to the left as you enter.
Okay.
The couch is sitting right. They have a low couch. So I just come in and I sit right here.
Okay.
On this couch. I after we hug, and she's grabbing it. She's rolling up like a towel, getting a bathing suit, putting it in. I think like a tote bag, and I didn't notice. We just started chatting. You know, we hadn't seen each other in a few weeks, and I don't know. I don't know exactly. That was probably 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Probably less than 5. I don't know how it could be more than 5 minutes because there was no like activity that she had to do to get ready. It was just grabbing a couple of random pool things like a swimsuit and a towel and putting them in this bag.
Okay.
And I don't remember. I think she was wearing sandals because I just made a mental note because I like people who wear closed shoes on my motorcycle.
Yeah,
because
I bet.
It's a massive, when shit goes wrong on a motorcycle, it can be really catastrophic. So that was just something I think I noted.
Mm-hmm.
So then we close the door, we go down the steps.
Okay.
To the motorcycle.
Okay. And extremely small detail, I don't know if you remember or not. So whenever you go up and you knock on the door, she comes to the door. Do you remember if she actually unlocked the door, or did she just kind of like reach and just open it?
I don't remember that.
Okay.
I didn't have that note.
Okay. And so then y'all leave.
I grew up in Austin. We never locked our front door, but I mean, she's not from here, so she is from Vermont. So I mean, I don't know, but I don't know. I never even considered like security as a thing, and I don't know how but I have no reference of how her relationship with door security is.
I gotcha.
So I don't recall.
Do you know kind of what her routine would be? Like if she just got home someplace or just walked inside someplace, like do you know like how she would kind of like settle down or relax or like what those steps that she would take would be?
I have no idea. I know she was in we went swimming, and when we were still at the pool, she used the towel to change her bathing suit top.
Yeah.
I don't think she changed her bottoms. I don't. Again, this is all. It's. I don't know these exact. I remember the top. I believe she changed into a black top, as I remember, from her full bathing suit, which I think was. Deep Eddy has cameras. I could tell you exactly.
Yeah.
But it was, I believe, like a rusty red, rusty bottom, and she changed her top to a black sports bra.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't remember if she wore that or if she changed into that before swimming. But I guess after swimming, before we went up to Pool Burger, she definitely changed their top.
Okay.
So that's, and then slipped on like the sundress, which honestly I can't. I remember she had a blue one that she had taken to our trip in West Texas in October, but I can't confirm like what color.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's just not in my head. Again, you can see that.
Yeah.
Whatever color that was.
Okay.
So her routine. Sorry,
No. It's all good.
Her routine would be. I imagine. I just can't even. I don't even want to say anything because I don't know. I'm just imagining what would a woman's routine be.
Yeah.
After coming home from a swimming pool. I would, if it were me, it had been like an hour and it's hot, or like whatever, 2 hours.
Yeah.
So maybe the swimsuit was wet, maybe not. I have no idea.
I gotcha.
If it were me, I would potentially change out of a swimsuit, but I can't
Of course, yeah, you're not entirely sure. I get that.
You
Never
don't know
warned
her,
her.
you don't know her habits.
No, I
you-
really don't know.
Yeah.
And, but I have not been a woman. I don't know how long you want to be in a swimsuit.
Of course, yeah, and again, I get it, yeah, it's fine. So, do you know if Kaitlin knows anybody in that area?
Do I know if she knows anybody?
Yeah. Just to your knowledge, and I'm not trying to trick you into anything or anything like that.
Well,
I'm just trying to see
I
if
feel
you
a little
do know.
bit like last time I was in here. And I know it's you and Detective Associate's job, and I respect that, and I totally understand it. But I just feel like I was, like, literally just like pushed into a corner and just had no idea. I mean, in a state of shock, and
Yeah.
I don't know what your prerogative. I mean, I don't know what the law is about what you can tell a witness or a
Mhm.
suspect. I imagine it's anything, and that would make total sense to me. But from my personal standpoint, I don't know, and so my world is essentially just like
Yeah.
shaken, and
Of course, yeah.
well, but then yourself and the other detective were then just like pushing a narrative based on something that I don't know if you're obligated to tell the truth
Mhm.
to, and I don't care. It's not personal.
If you don't know,
What-
and if you don't wanna answer, then you don't have to, or
Exactly.
you can say you don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Honestly, it's a situation where I don't know the code to Caitlin's phone.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to know the code to Caitlin's phone.
I gotcha.
Because I don't even want. I've had girlfriends before where I have looked at their phone in the past, and I don't even like. It just was such a situation that I've decided in my life I don't want to know codes to people's
Okay.
personal things. So I don't know. I don't know if she has any friends there. I don't know. That I cannot. I can't. I don't have any information on.
Okay. I didn't know if maybe she had ever said like, "Hey, I'm gonna go hang out with so and so," or I mean, just kind of something around along those lines.
I mean,
kind of
she has a lot of friends in the cycling community. She has, women, mostly women that I've introduced her to, just to kind of, because she's
Mhm.
was relatively new to Austin when we met, and these are all really cool, empowered women who do amazing things, like go on multi-day bicycle trips alone together and do fun things like that, which I think is super healthy. And yeah, I can't answer. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do you
She
know?
has a lot of, she gets her nails done. She, has like laser hair removal. I don't know. She goes to
Yeah.
yoga classes.
Okay.
So that's all I can.
Do you know if she's friends with Cash?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I mean, it's a relatively small cycling community, but Cash was. I had not seen Cash many times. I'd recognized her for sure when I met Mo at the driveway in October, and
Mhm.
Cash was there, and Mo officially introduced me to Cash. But I mean, women in the cycling community, it's not like 20 people, it's like
Yeah.
200 women and five, whatever, 1,000 men.
Mhm.
That's the kind of, so there's networks, there's overlap, there's this weekly bike race that's actually not happening this year because the city of Austin is purchasing the racetrack. I'm sure you know the driveway. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that I don't know what their personal connection would be. Was.
Yeah.
In terms of overlap, have they met?
Okay. What about I guess last time you said Kaitlin has a sister here?
Christy. No, she now lives in Vermont. Apparently she met a man on the internet through mutual connective. They're both really into, Kaitlin and her sister are both very into astrology and things like that. And
Okay.
this guy, her sister met him and moved to this farm he operates in New York about 2 months ago, I believe.
Mhm.
Approximately 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kaitlin doesn't have any other family that you know of that's that's here in Austin?
In Austin? No.
Or even like the surrounding
was-
greater Austin area?
No, she's from Detroit area, from
Okay.
Livonia, Detroit.
Okay.
So I know her brother's in Detroit area, her mother is in Detroit area, and her sister is now in Upper New York State.
Okay. So, can you think of any reason at all why Kaitlin's car would be in that area of Cash's house?
I think it could be that she went to see I've heard her mention like a spiritual, just like a energy worker
Mm-hmm.
that is on the east side. That could potentially be in that area.
Okay. How often would she go and try to see that person? Or how often, like, has she spoken of, like, trying to see that person?
I don't remember, I just don't track. She knows that I'm not really ascribing to astrology and kind of the greater mythos of human spirituality and complexity. So, I mean, I don't feel like it's something she would talk to me about, just like
Okay.
some kind of, you know, any other personal appointment.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any like distinct memory of like another date recently when she went to see this person.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you know if Kaitlin lets anybody like just borrow her car on a regular basis?
Her sister used to borrow it regularly, or I mean occasionally, not regularly. But besides that, nobody comes to mind. No.
Okay. So normally she would be the one driving her car. It wouldn't necessarily be like somebody, if somebody were to have called her, I mean, not necessarily family, a friend, because it doesn't sound like family's here. So if it's just like a friend of hers, if somebody calls and, hey, can I borrow your car? Would she be like, okay, yeah, cool, you can use it? Or would she be like, yeah, I'll pick you up and drive you around?
No, she's not paranoid about her belongings really.
Okay.
I think that especially that car is just kind of at this point just kind of a utility to her. So I mean that's not inconceivable at all.
Okay. So a lot of stuff that we've kind of found out, I guess there was some sort of like an event that I guess the cycling community was at, and I don't know if this was like a race or like a dinner or exactly what it was, but it sounded like it was some sort of event where a lot of different cyclists were together sometime in January of this year, maybe around like the end of January possibly.
What do you mean, where?
So I'm not entirely sure where exactly either, but it sounds like at this event, you were there, Kaitlin was there, Mo was there, sounds like some other cyclists were there as well. Does this event, or was there a race or anything that?
Do you mean?
And it might not even been a race. It might have just
cycle
been an outing.
In Austin?
I'm not sure if it was in Austin or if it was abroad someplace else.
You're not sure? How are you not sure?
So, only because I don't really know exactly where all of this took place. I mean, obviously, you know, we were able to look through Mo's phone.
Yeah.
You know, and she mentioned something about seeing you and seeing Kaitlin at this event and everybody sitting at a table and eating. But then we've gotten other phone calls of people that were at the event, but they were sitting at another table nearby. And
would it have been cyclocross, the cyclocross world championships in Bentonville?
I'm not sure. Was that around January?
Yeah, I think so. We could look it up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and again,
Fayetteville Cyclocross World Championships.
Okay.
Is what that was, literally the world championships of a particular style of bike racing.
Okay.
Yeah, and I traveled to the event with Kaitlin, and I don't know if we met there or we traveled there, but yeah, we stayed at a hotel, 21C, and yeah, we attended that event.
Okay.
And I mean, there was several dinners.
Yeah.
Over the course of, I mean, it was like a big deal for the cycling community.
Yeah.
In terms of like a lot of people gathering from around the country.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know?
And do you remember talking with Mo at that time, or Mo trying to talk to you?
At
any point in time during the event.
Yeah, there was a dinner for. There was a dinner for I believe there was a dinner for I believe it was our. Can't remember who put it on. I think it was the people. There was I guess Visit Bentonville is kind of a cycling. I don't know if it was Visit Bentonville or Meteor. Meteor's a mutual sponsor of Mo and I. It's
okay.
This series of bike shop cafe in Austin and Bentonville.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I saw Mo multiple times that weekend, just like at, at rides for the Meteor, at events for them, and at this pizza joint where I had totally forgotten about it, and I got a text from my friend Payson, another professional athlete, saying, "Hey, are you?" Or I think Payson, somebody saying, "Hey, are you coming to this thing?" And I said, "Yes." I mean, I had forgotten what time it was, and I had an obligation. So yeah, I went over to this pizza place. I went alone and just like sat with a group and got some dessert because I'd already eaten with Kaitlin, and then went back to the there was a party that one of the I forget who a cyclist, like this Austin cyclist I knew had bought out the tower rooftop thing bar, the 21C, no, not 21C, the Momentary. So yeah, that was that sequence of events. Sat at a table with Mo and about 10 other people, just chatted with Mo and another professional, Sarah Sturm, at a table, and then yeah, went back to this party event thing.
Okay.
That Kaitlin was at.
Okay. And how was Kaitlin during that time? I guess it's my understanding she wasn't too happy whenever she saw Mo.
I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you exactly. She's kind of a guarded person. She was just, she was always just. I mean, she just wasn't. I don't know. It's hard to say. I can't read exactly what a woman is feeling in terms of like. Love. Some women are. I don't know. I don't know women. I can't tell you that.
Yeah.
I can't speak to like how she was in terms of. We had a relationship hiatus, and Kaitlin we were after Mo was in Austin for a week, and Mo and I had broken up with Kaitlin before Mo came to town, and then I actually did not know that she was coming to Austin in October. I had no idea. We hadn't discussed that, and I don't think so, because it felt like a surprise. And then she was here, and I just said, "Oh, let's hang out." So I was mentally ready to kind of move on. And I know after Mo left town after a week, Kaitlin's things were still at my house. We were sleeping in separate rooms, and effectively, Kaitlin was on Bumble. I know she had made several dates with people. I don't know. I never asked like what extent they were evolving a relationship, but I know that she went on several. Had several men that she was dating of sorts, and I was fine with it. I mean, that was kind of the understanding, of course. So, yeah, it just seems very weird to me that there would be any dwelling on fixating on a person when she was like moving on to other relationships, at that time.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Do you know if Kaitlin ever tried to call Mo or send her messages through, like Instagram or anything?
I know that right after in October before, like right when I had started essentially seeing Mo, just hanging out with Mo in Austin, Kaitlin did call her and pretty much just said, hey, do you know that I pretty much like live at Colin's house, or I don't know exactly what was, I have no idea. I didn't really dive in, but I do know that she called her, and Mo was like, that was really weird. Somebody called, some random person called me, and I said, I felt so ashamed of, like, I'm just so sorry. That was my ex-girlfriend that I broke up with, but I also knew Mo had just broken up with her ex-boyfriend, so she said. So it seemed just like, I don't know, like being in relatively similar situations.
Yeah.
At least in my mind, that's what I was.
Okay. Yeah. If you could hang on real quick, I'm so sorry. I have to take this. Hold on. I will be right back.
I would rather
I feel like they're just leading a narrative. They're just trying to lead me along. And do I
Here's what you do.
Answer?
Here's what you do. You don't have to answer. We can walk out anytime.
I don't know whether it's
It's totally permissible. It's nothing they can hold against you. It is you would be finished talking, and I'm happy to do that for you. If what I would tell you in general is, if you don't remember something,
don't make conjecture.
You don't need to speculate.
Yeah.
You don't speculate, and I think you're trying to be helpful. But if even if you're just answering a question in terms of what would I usually do in those circumstances,
right. It's not relevant.
If you don't know, you don't know. Okay. But also, if you're ready to get the cheek swab and go, we can get the cheek swab and go. Another thing.
I don't know why I want to help with anything I can, but at this point it's just like I feel like they're just trying to.
Then why don't you
lead a narrative?
Then why don't you
things that they can do on their own, essentially.
Yeah. So why don't we ask him to ask you specific questions, and then you, instead of guessing or recreating, try to answer in a short, factual way.
Sure.
And again, Colin, we can walk out. We can get your cheek swab and we can go. Okay? And I know you want to be helpful, but if it's too much, you don't have to. You've been helpful. You can also tell him you don't like where the narrative is going, and hey, I don't like what you're trying to get me to say, and if we can just be real specific, question and answer, because I don't have any knowledge, because you don't.
If I had any knowledge, we wouldn't be in this position.
That's right. I see you being very factual about the things that you experienced and saw, right? Like I saw Portia. I was careful on the motorcycle. I walked into the apartment, sat down on the couch. I see you being very factual about those things, and I see you trying to figure out the significance of these questions, like, do you know if she had any friends? And so if you don't know, then I would encourage you to, rather than try to work their narrative in any way, just answer that you don't know. Okay? say something you wanted to say last time that you don't feel like you got to say, I think you can say that.
I'm just going to say,
You
fuck
don't
you
think
guys for manipulating somebody who's grieving, but that's not relevant.
Well, you can say, I feel like you're manipulating me. I'm grieving. Can I just answer the questions? And the answer is you can walk out. You don't have to participate at all. You have given your narration of events. You have been questioned hard about it. Today they're following up in a way that it seems less about you and more like trying to try out other theories. And if you don't want to be part of trying out the other theories, you don't have to be.
I don't, because this comes back to if anything was relevant,
You're not in a position to know.
Well, no, if anything was relevant, and then we wouldn't be in this position, because I would have taken a different course of action in my life to not.
You wouldn't be in this situation, and nobody else would be either.
In a situation like this. So it's.
I think it's fine to say that.
Yeah.
And I think I'd be specific. Look, it seems like you're going in a very specific direction. If I had any knowledge of anyone's propensity to do something like this, if that's what happened, I would not still be in a relationship, or right? And I think it's okay to say that. You wouldn't have been.
It's absolute insanity.
You're really smart about things like, I don't want other people's passcodes. I mean, it takes a lot of maturity to realize you don't want to know every detail of someone else's life, because it'll just
like stupid.
It just it ends up nagging at you.
Lessons learned.
Right. I think everybody should get to that point. Everybody doesn't.
Well, if you want to, yeah.
I mean, if you want to constantly be torment yourself, then read somebody's diary, right?
Exactly. There's plenty of other things to do with your life, plenty of other people, so.
Right. Plenty of healthier ways to be in a relationship.
There's a lot of people I could have been spending my last 3 years with. So it's just mind-blowing to be in any kind of position where these are the questions are being asked.
You are, in my opinion, how could you not be in a state of overwhelm between all the huge, significant questions that are happening for you, right? And events that are happening, and it's almost nowhere to rest your mind.
I want to be helpful, but when they ask questions that are very clearly like trying to lead to a narrative that they're working, I don't feel like I don't have any relevant. I guess I should just say I don't know.
Let's tell him that when he comes back in, to the extent that you want to continue, we will say, I feel like I'm being asked to support a narrative, right? And if you have specific questions for me, I want to answer them. I'm really comfortable trying to help you build a specific case, but the only thing you can speak to is factual knowledge, right? Was Kaitlin hard to get along with that weekend in Arkansas? You don't have to answer it, but that's what he's wondering.
Not particularly.
Right. I know in my relationships, when something is actively bothering me like that, it's hard for me to go through ordinary motions and kind of hold it together and act like nothing's bothering me, right? So I would expect over a full weekend like that, you would have seen some signs of unhappiness, but it sounds like you didn't.
Yeah.
They weren't exhibited. it also sounds to me, from what I'm hearing, like you're somebody who gives other people a lot of space in the relationship, and that you like also to have some personal space, some personal boundaries around every single minute, around, do you spend all your time together, around, like you encouraged group rides, you encouraged friendships, because like you said, it's healthy, and it seems like that's what you're looking for.
Yeah.
In personal relationships, and it seems like that's what you cultivated.
Yeah, I mean, if someone has a desire to run around, they're gonna run around. There's nothing you can do. All you can do is extricate yourself from a situation.
You didn't see anything you need to extricate about, did you?
No,
So there you are.
If I would have seen anything that was, it's just absolute.
So you don't know. The answer is you don't know, and you're uncomfortable speculating, and I think it's not just reasonable, it's helpful.
Yeah.
Hey, come in.
Hey, I'm so sorry about that. Alright.
You want to speak for yourself, or you want me to summarize?
We were just talking, of course, because filling the time. And I'm of course more than happy to help give you any information you want. Of course, so that's helpful.
It's been extremely helpful so far. I mean, you've been great.
I just beyond like factual questions you have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel comfortable making any speculations about a narrative. I understand your work. If everything's on the table, and that's absolutely 100%.
Of course,
understandable. I just can't. I'm not going to make any speculations about what I think. I mean, if I had the most remote signs of somebody having instability of mental capacity, I would not be in close, intimate, committed relationship with them, sharing my whole life.
Yeah.
So that's all I can say.
Of course.
If there is, if you're wondering, were there signs, where there's this, was there that, if there were any fucking signs, I would have extricated myself from a relationship and gotten a lot of space and a restraining order or something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I can say regarding is my partner unstable? I mean, I've never seen any signs of that. If I had, I would not. There's plenty of other women in the world, in the community, that I could spend my time with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I can say.
Of course.
No.
And as far as the speculation, I'm not expecting you to know everything. If you don't know something, then you don't know it, and that's fine. Trust me, I'm not trying to trick you into anything or saying something, or you know Kaitlin a lot better than me.
Definitely was trying to get me to essentially implicate somebody that in something that's the most serious and severe. You guys you have the evidence. I don't have any fucking evidence beyond just so. Yeah.
Well, and I don't like that that's how it came across to you, because and again, and that's kind of what I was saying was, like, I don't know Kaitlin, I don't know you, I don't know Mo, I don't know Cash.
Yeah.
So the only but now you've been in a relationship with Kaitlin, so you can actually provide that insight.
Yes.
And so if
is like the basis of my entire relationship with this woman. She's an incredibly kind, caring, sweet person who has helped me take care of my aging mother. She helped her secure like $20,000 in unemployment by just being on the phone for 5 days. She has only shown shining examples. In my experience, has only shown absolute above and beyond examples of human compassion and thoughtfulness and care and going far out of her way for ridiculous things, like ridiculous extents to help other humans, and that's just been my experience. That's why I've been with her for 3 years even, you know.
Yeah.
Despite having my doubts initially if we were, you know, if I wanted to be together for a long time, based on just stupid things like, you know, kind of clothes she wears and stuff. You know?
Of course. And again, I mean, it's just kind of going back to, you know, me just trying to figure out, like, just kind of how she is, her personality and stuff. I mean, if you were to ask me about, like, hey, how is your wife? Well, yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you, yeah, she's always happy. But I mean, does she get mad? Yes, everybody gets mad. That's natural. You know, I'm not going to blow that out of proportion. Do I think that my wife could go and kill somebody? No. There's no way in the world. Do I think my wife would hit somebody? No. Now, if you ask me that about my 6-year-old son, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if he wouldn't punch somebody at all.
Do I think Kaitlin would hit somebody? No, I honestly don't, because it would be too. I don't know. Do I think Kaitlin could kill somebody? No, I don't. I have no concept of having that much rage and ability to suspend reality for long enough to do something like that. That it's going to be okay. Like, it's not going to be okay under any circumstances.
Have you had an opportunity to speak with Kaitlin after both of y'all were down here?
Had an opportunity. Yeah, we spent the day. After I went to my father's house after this, because I was in communication with our attorney from our real estate case who was with Kaitlin at the house, and eventually said, okay, they're finished. I just didn't want to go and sit in front of my house, in front of my neighbors.
Of course.
I just didn't even want to see that. So I got some food with my father off Riverside, and then went home. And yeah, Kaitlin was there, and we were both just shell-shocked. We really didn't say much, honestly, because what is there to say?
Yeah.
It's just it's a terrifying situation in every way.
Yeah.
And yeah, we essentially just slept, tried to sleep, probably slept an hour or two over a course of 8 hours. Walked to the coffee shop a few blocks away from the house, still in just a daze, in a stupor, just, you know, and she's just like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what's going on. And I said, well, I can't even, I said, I just can't believe you're in this, I dragged you into this situation anyway, and all we can do is, like, write down, make it, like, while it's relatively fresh, write down an absolute, like, just like I've told you, because it's all out there. There's no, I don't know, maybe I'm not in your business, but I can only imagine it's pretty straightforward piecing together, unless something is, like, deviously premeditated. Then I just can't imagine being able to perpetrate something with the expectation of getting away with it, as it were.
Yeah.
So then that was our conversation. We walked to coffee, walked back, she said they have my phone, so I mean, where do you think I should get a phone? I said, I think Walmart would have one. I mean, this is between long periods of just silence, because it's so, I mean, we're just trying to, like, attain some sense of normalcy, I guess, and routine. Then sometime around midday, she left to go to get a new phone, and then I did the same. I went to Verizon, and then I had talked to the higher up attorney at the real estate attorney, and they said, this is insane. I mean, and then you should talk to a criminal defense lawyer, just because we're not experts in this, and this is just like an insanely serious matter. So then I've talked to a few different friends for numbers. Anyway, I'm rambling. And then that's why I went and consulted Claire on
And that
what
was
is
Friday
going on.
afternoon, and I said, I think y'all need to stop talking to each other. You need to separate yourselves from each other
Mhm.
while the fact finding is going on. I just don't think it'd be helpful.
Of course.
And so I don't think there's been very much. There's definitely not been any being together.
Since she left, and I left Friday midday,
Mhm.
eventually to get a new SIM card for my phone, which I assumed was okay.
Yeah.
Had the same number.
You're allowed to have a phone.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
And then saw Claire. Since then, I haven't spoken with Kaitlin or seen her, and so the two detectives came by my house yesterday, asking if she was there, if I had seen where she was, and my father had contacted her yesterday morning. He had gotten in touch with her. I gave him the number that Kaitlin had given our mutual attorney, real estate attorney, and who was just being helpful. She said, "I'm here for you guys, whatever you need," because we've been working with her closely on this real estate case for like 6 months now, which I'm fucking dropping. And the real estate case, and so that's the last. I sent Kaitlin a message on, I believe, Saturday, saying, "Hey, I'm dropping this case, and I have about $40,000 in legal fees for that." So I said, Kaitlin, she reinvested. I did a cash out refinance on my home about a year ago. I had about $350,000, and a lot of it went into the trailer restoration business. And then Kaitlin is a very savvy investor, so she was managing the other about $100,000 of my money. And about 2 weeks ago, she said, "Well, this real estate case is not resolving quickly. Let's just put it in the market." So Kaitlin invested, I think, about $100,000 into the market, and it still is there. And so I messaged her on Saturday about, "Hey, I think I'm going to drop this case in Lockhart, and I would like to be able to settle up with the attorneys, whatever we come to. Would you mind extracting, could you pull out this $100,000 and just put it back in my account so that we can so there's more than $40,000 in there."
Yeah. So did she ever actually pull that money out and give it to you?
No, I didn't see. I have not. I didn't get a response actually.
Okay.
To that, and I'm sure she's being advised the same thing.
Yeah. More
that I am like, you guys should just separate for a while this for clarity.
Yeah.
To not convolute the situation. So as much as I've been wanting to reach out to her, I just haven't for that reason. But my father reached out to her yesterday. I'm sure they gave you that information.
Did so I guess it's my understanding from that. So she has basically like sole control over that, like the money that was invested.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's a Charles Schwab account.
Okay.
She was managing all of our books, my books, like the financials of the business.
Okay.
Filing my taxes, things like that. So that's.
Did she happen to mention who her attorney was that she was gonna get? I did call the real estate attorney that you had been speaking with. Yes. Yeah. So I did speak with her. She didn't have that information either, so I didn't know if maybe she provided that, because I was trying to get in contact with her as well. I was just trying to go through her attorney instead, but yeah, I didn't know if maybe you had that.
I don't.
Okay.
We haven't spoken since then. I know she was definitely thinking, she had mentioned she's going to do the same. Well, I hadn't specifically said that I was going to go meet with Claire, but we were still kind of just started communications when Kaitlin left the house. So yeah. Okay. Are you guys still trying to locate Kaitlin?
We are.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you, I guess it sounds like your dad has spoken to her, which I would imagine that because the detectives did get that information yesterday. I would assume that maybe your dad told her, "Hey, there's some detectives are looking for you."
No, this was before that.
Oh, okay.
He spoke to her in the morning.
Okay.
He said she answered the phone.
Yeah.
She sounded okay, wasn't irate or anything, and she spoke with him. And, yeah.
Okay. If he does happen to talk to her again, and if he's willing to, just say, hey, Detective want to talk to you.
I have your,
Yeah, you have all my information. So I mean, I'd appreciate it.
How long is the scanning of my computer gonna take? 'Cause that's essential for
So
my business.
it's scanning right now. So I did check with our digital forensics unit this morning. They said that it's currently plugged up and everything is scanning.
How long
And
will that
I can
take?
get you a copy of all the search warrants and stuff
Sure,
too. Yeah.
sure.
How
Yeah,
long will that
when
take?
can he
When
get
can
it
he-
back, is what he's
So
asking.
I'm not sure, 'cause I don't wanna say like, oh, it's gonna be a few days, or it's, gonna be a week, like, just in case
What's the
something
longest it could be?
comes up.
I mean, once you have the whole.
I mean, luckily, we have the passcode, and so that definitely speeds everything up a lot. But so
Do you need the physical thing, or don't you just scan the entire?
So I'm not sure.
digital
I will
intel?
check with DFU regarding that to see what their best course of action would be, our digital forensics unit. And then I can definitely get in contact with your attorney and kind of work out those details.
You
with
know
her.
we want it as fast as possible, just
100%.
like anybody who's trying to, conduct their lives
Exactly.
now. And if it's not going to be within a few days, then you'll probably need to make other arrangements.
Yeah, and I can definitely speak with our digital forensics unit and talk with them and try to figure out all that, and then I'll definitely coordinate with your attorney on all that stuff.
I have to get a quote for a trailer for John C. Riley, who wants a second unit from us.
Really?
And Larry McGuire wants a unit. I have a meeting with him this weekend, owner of MML Hospitality.
Oh, okay.
So I need my computer.
Of course, yeah.
When you're done.
Yeah.
Do your thing, but please do it quickly.
And are you saying your phone or your computer?
I mean, both would be great, but my computer would be for work. I have a phone that works, but.
Your computer, what does that look like? Because there were two computers.
It has a dark shell
Okay.
case. The one that's not pink.
Okay.
Is it Apple?
They're both Apples, yeah.
So, nobody wants to go spend a bunch of money, but you can recreate it on your Apple ID if you.
Okay.
If worst comes to worst here, and they need it for too long.
It's the information on it.
And it's gonna
not the
cause you
actual
to
computer.
lose business, then make a business purchase.
So the one with the dark shell case on it, that is
Correct.
your computer.
Correct.
The one with the pink case on it, who does that belong to?
Kaitlin.
Okay. Okay. And then, as far as the cell phones that were found also inside, how many inside of the of your house? There was like a cell phone that was plugged up, and then there was another iPhone with a black case that was inside of a bag. The one that was plugged up, it had like a burnt orange case on it.
Like leather colored?
Yeah.
Okay. I think that was Kaitlin. That's Kaitlin's cell phone.
Okay.
It's like a newer version of this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then what about the other one that was inside a bag? It was just like a
bag.
Yeah, I think it was. It might have been.
We had
purse or bag or something that it might have been found. I'm not entirely sure because I wasn't out there.
All I can tell you is this wasn't one in a drawer that they didn't take. I mean, we had 3 or 4 old iPhones, as most people do, that were obsolete, that were just in a drawer. Maybe we were gonna sell them, maybe not.
Okay.
Or like whatever, or in this, if you lose your phone, you can always reactivate it. So I don't know exactly what is what in terms of like. I know her phone had a leather case, an Apple case.
Okay.
Mine has the blue leather bull strap case.
Okay.
So.
Okay. But like the phone probably would have been on, more than likely. And if you don't know, I mean, like turned on, like powered on, like it's
I have no
like it's
clue.
on.
I have no clue.
Okay. Now, and again, I don't know if you know or not, so it's.
How'd they get your phone? You had it with you?
I had
handed
it with me
over?
here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know that you did answer some of my questions that I was going to ask you before, regarding Kaitlin? Because again, and if you don't know, you don't know. You know, but you know her a lot better than I know her. So that's why I'm just kind of curious. You know, I mean, has she ever mentioned in the past of wanting to hurt Mo?
No, she's never mentioned wanting to physically hurt.
Okay.
No.
Do you think that she is capable of hurting Mo?
If I thought she was physically capable of hurting another human, I would have extricated myself immediately from that situation. Not only for not so much for my own personal safety, but my concern for another human.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that answer?
The answer is no.
Okay.
I don't believe in any way she's capable of that.
Okay. The gun range that she visited with her sister, do you know where that gun range is?
I think it was on South I-35. I told them to go to the Reds, which is now something else, which is the one I drove past on my way to school for 12 years at the Waldorf school. But they went to another one because a mutual friend had been there, and I believe it's on South I-35 in South Austin, like towards.
Do you know if it's the new one that's?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I know that it's south. I believe it's on South I-35. That's all I know.
Okay. Do you remember about how long ago that would have been? Because it sounds like, I guess her sister moved about 2 months ago, give or take.
I imagine it was. I don't remember exactly. It's stuck in my head somewhere in January in my really rough, jumbled timeline.
Okay. No, and again, that's fine.
You bought the guns, right?
I bought the guns. Yes.
When was that?
I think December, early December.
Okay.
There's a receipt with them. I'm sure you could look at the receipt. I don't know. I don't remember.
So sometime before the sister left, but after December.
It could have been in November, December. I honestly can't. I could look it up, but I don't know how that's stored in my head. It's on the receipt.
Okay.
That was stored with them.
After the receipt date, before the sister leaves town, is when the gun range shooting practice would have happened.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if it's relevant, but initially I bought 2 similar Sig Sauers, brand new, and then I had bought one that was actually a little smaller, and I have never shot either of them, but I decided I wanted to go and exchange it was the Sig Sauer X,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted something a little bit bigger because it just felt too small for my hands, so I went back to McBride's, I don't know, a few weeks later, and just exchanged. It was unshot, so I exchanged it for that Springfield because that's something they had in stock that just felt less cheap and janky. And
okay.
So that I didn't mention that, but that was like just a side note.
Okay. But that one was definitely returned back. Like you actually went and like gave that back.
Gave that back to them. They gave me a credit for like minus $50 because it was. That's just what they do. They're a gun trader.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why I had mine, whatever. And I know I totally spaced on this, but I do know they shot the Springfield as well at the gun range, and because I remember comparing and contrasting. They gave me I was like, so what was it like?
Yeah.
They said, well, this, anyway, so I know that both, I had said mine should never have been shot. That is not accurate, because I remember they did say they took both of them, and both of them were shot at the gun range, and whenever that was.
Okay.
January.
Of course, yeah.
Zone.
I got you.
Again, that information I'm sure you can find.
Okay. To your knowledge, do you know if Kaitlin has ever purchased another firearm, like on her own? Like, have you ever seen her with another firearm?
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. I have no knowledge of that. I don't know why she would.
Okay. All of the ammunition that we found at your house, was that the only 2 boxes? I believe it was just 2 boxes that we found. But were those the only 2 boxes that you know of that y'all purchased, or has Kaitlin purchased other ammunition before? Or?
I have no idea. I can't imagine why.
Okay.
I haven't I didn't. I don't have it cataloged. I just put the locks on them and put them in the case, and
Mm-hmm.
put them in a Pelican case, which was too small. I barely fit in there, but I was planning to buy a bigger case to have just more room. But yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have. I've taken it out and just played with it in the house just to try to get an idea of how it works mechanically. That's the extent of my experience with it, but I don't have a catalog or mental knowledge of the the bullets or what we have, what the inventory was.
Yeah. And whenever she went to the gun range with her sister, do you recall if they ever talked about learning to clean the gun? Did she go and learn everything about the guns to be able to take them apart, put them back together, or was it basically more of hey, this is how you shoot the gun and you line up your sights?
As far as I know, I don't even think they had instruction.
Okay.
As far as I know, she went with a female friend of hers who had shot in the past. I don't think she wasn't a gun aficionado. Kaitlin's a very very female. She likes a lot of pink things. She's a very feminine person. Yeah. As most of her friends are. Most of them, except the cycling women that I've introduced her to, are a lot more hardy, I would say. So no, I would not imagine, and Kaitlin was also shit with anything. She has no mechanical knowledge when I met her. Now she knows a little bit about bicycles, but that's really just because I've been grilling her on, you have to be able to at least basic knowledge of how to do basic things on this bike if you're going to be riding it. But I cannot imagine, to my knowledge, no instruction on care and feeding and cleaning.
But in regards to the bike aspect of it, if you just gave her a brand new bike that was all just in pieces and you said, hey, go put this together,
no fucking way. She tried to put a brake rotor on, which is a simple lock ring. When she met me in West Texas, she took a different wheel setter in Arizona recently, and she put the rotor on, finger tighted the thing that holds your brake rotor on your wheel, and didn't even think to tighten it. So she is mechanically inept.
Yeah.
Okay. I got the wheel and was like, are you fucking kidding me? Your rotor would just come off if you braked on this with this lock ring, without any torque on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was disappointing when I saw that.
Yeah.
My training has not helped at all. So.
I gotcha.
Did you say, I'm trying to understand, did you say Kaitlin, Christy, went with a third friend, or do you think there was more than one trip to the gun range?
All I know is the one.
Okay.
And she would have told me. That's interesting. She knows that I'm interested in purchase these things, her learning to use them. So yeah, there was one. I don't know the name of the friend. I don't remember that, but I assume that's all in phones.
Okay. That night, or I'm sorry, not that night. That day.
What day?
Whenever you came down here.
Thursday.
Yes, Thursday. Sorry, my days are running together as well. So, whenever you ended up coming down here, and I told you that we knew that Kaitlin's car was outside of Cash's house, one of your first responses was, I knew I shouldn't have bought that gun.
You remember saying that? I'm not, do you remember saying that?
Yeah.
I don't remember saying that.
Okay.
But I immediately, just the fact that I have those in my sphere is not why we're here, but that's a big fucking thing.
Yeah. And again, before all of that, we had already been talking about guns and everything, so
I'm not saying that it's shocking that you brought up a gun at all. I'm not saying that whatsoever because
we had already been talking about
100%, exactly.
It wasn't a spontaneous thing you said.
No, that is a moment of clarity of course of events I know nothing about. That is just a fact of like, this is really complicated.
Yes.
Extra complicated because I have never had guns. I've never wanted to own one. Kaitlin had a sketchy experience in the parking lot at Wheatsville South on South Lamar of some guy like road raging at her.
Yeah.
And she was physically shaking. And that's why I was and then additionally wanting to go on bike packing trips in general as a female owning a firearm. That's why I thought.
Yeah.
That's why I brought it up. And my thought in that moment was, I just wish I have never had anything to do with guns.
Of course.
Period.
Of course.
Do you mean because it complicated the fact situation and it complicated the inquiry, or because you believed somebody
the inquiry
did
immensely,
something?
Immensely.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I don't have any fucking I've given you all the facts I have about anybody doing anything. It's just made this whole investigation.
Right.
I'm an intelligent human, and I know, holy fuck, this
adds a new dimension.
Adds a really serious dimension.
Of course. And so, and you just kind of brought that up, the whole road rage thing. She was involved in the road rage thing. She was shaking, which is why, you want her to have some sort of self-defense. Especially also whenever she's out riding and stuff like that. Totally understandable. So, is that something that she would normally do now, since that event would be to, like, have the gun with her inside of her car?
I don't have any knowledge that she would ever carry it in her car. I imagine it would be. She said it stays in the. I imagine it stays in the fucking safe. I haven't asked.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. You've never actually just seen her.
I've never seen her
out,
with it
other
out.
than it being
I've never seen it in her car. I've only seen it, the two of them, in a case in my home.
Okay.
They haven't even been like in a nightstand.
Yeah. Okay.
Because shit happens when guns are around. Shit can happen when guns are around, rather. That's why I wouldn't leave it in for home defense.
So do you personally, think that Kaitlin killed Mo?
I cannot fucking fathom it. I cannot fathom it. Do I think so? No, because again, I know my experience, knowledge base in my life as a human cannot fathom that reality. It is the most extreme concept, literally imaginable. Could Kaitlin hit somebody with a car when she's drinking? If she were drinking, she doesn't drink much, but that's possible. Yes, this is not possible in my mind at all. It's just not fucking possible.
And are you saying that's out of her being so intoxicated that she can't control a vehicle?
Yes.
Or
I mean, it's
she's
possible for anybody.
It's
possible for anybody to strike another, say, a pedestrian with a car,
of course,
accidentally.
Okay.
But this is not possible in my experience of 3 years spending virtually every day with this person. It's not fucking possible in my experience. It's not possible.
Okay.
To suspend reality for the amount of time it would take for this entire course of events, however long it would take, to say I am going to let go of everything I've built in my life, all these projects, this beautiful home she's been meticulously working on in South Austin, in my neighborhood, this rental property in Lockhart, this company we own, poised to just be like a beautiful art. We've had multiple articles written about our Wheelhouse Mobile. We are co-owning this. She has so much amazing stuff going on.
Yeah.
To lose consciousness for long enough to commit a murder is not possible.
Yeah.
It's not possible. And knowingly all that, everything, not only are you ending somebody's life and destroying their entire family network, but you are destroying your own life. You're destroying my career, my life, as it is, as I know it. Everything. I don't believe that's possible in any way possible.
Do you think that, and I know that you're not too familiar with it, but do you think that Cash could have killed Mo?
I have no idea. I've interacted with Cash a total of about 1 hour in my life, maybe 2 hours total. I cannot speak to that. I cannot imagine any of this.
Okay.
It is all just, it's like I don't know their personal relationship. That's all I can say. But I don't know. I have no comment on this because it's all.
Of course. And again,
this is the most extreme human behavior possible, and I cannot imagine anybody that I know, much less these people, being involved in this.
Okay.
I see people on the street that are like tweaking out, and I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying, like, I could see those people snapping on, on. Not trying to lead anything, but that's my thought process. I could see unstable people, but I don't know any unstable people. So, okay. I didn't think I knew it.
So I want to ask
anyway,
you. I know this is upsetting. I want to clarify this. When you're talking about, it sounds like you're saying Kaitlin's too smart to jeopardize her whole life over one moment, right, and one act. But do you also?
She's more. It's just that anybody. I'm just stating what she has going on in her life.
But what about her that you know? Do you know her as a volatile or angry person?
No, not like no. Not out of the ordinary of any human I've ever interacted, and she's by far the least, like one of the least volatile women I have dated, in terms of emotion upwelling of like anger and jealousy and emotion. So there's warning signs, and I have never seen anything that was alarming. It just, to this extent, I can't even fathom it. So, clarity on that.
Yeah.
Can we do a cheek swab? Do you need any other information?
Yeah, we can definitely do the cheek swab. I was going to ask you if you're fine with telling me just kind of the route that you took from the house.
From what house?
From Cash's. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, from Cash's.
Yes. I can tell you the exact route.
Because it's my understanding that it was. I know that you said that you went northbound through the alley.
Yeah.
Up to MLK.
Yes.
And that's where you stopped.
Stopped right at MLK. Should have been long enough to send a text message, which was probably 25 seconds, 30 seconds.
So you'll have to forgive me because I don't. Oh wait, never mind. That's how you get to satellite.
Where are you from?
Tennessee. So the pin is the drop pin is where Mo was staying.
And this is the alley?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So that's the. Sorry.
So when I arrived, there was a stoplight, a red light at Chicone. So when I as a cyclist, I'm always trying to flow and not sit at red lights.
Of course.
So I took a right onto Chicone, and I believe Are you okay? So I believe when I dropped her, I came down Oh right, that doesn't connect because I took the first left from Chacon. So here's, wait, where's Chacon?
Right there.
Okay, I took a right on Chacon, and either came this way or came down to 7th. I saw a big, lovely black family of like 10 people. Made a mental note of how East Austin is a hodgepodge of like original black and Latino families. Like at this house, I remember that. I think I just crossed either. Yeah. Anyway, got to this. I know Austin pretty well, so I've lived here my whole life. So I went, crossed here, crossed Chestnut, I believe, and then saw went to this alley here, went up here, dropped Mo off, Hedgeford helmet. I can't even remember if I think I just left my jacket in my case. I can't remember. I'm sure you can look at traffic cams. I've ridden a motorcycle back from the east side on 35 so many times it tends to blur together, but this I know. Drove up the alley, stopped right here, sent a text message to Kaitlin, saying, hey, are you still out for food? Can I meet you somewhere? Drove.
So you would turn left on
MLK. Continued to Chacon. Turned left on Chacon.
Okay.
Went all the way down Chacon to 7th. Yeah, to 7th Street. Stayed on Chacon. This is like my general way that I just instinctively drive when I drive home. This is just the route that I would take on a motorcycle or a bicycle.
Yeah.
To avoid part of 35. 7th Street. 7th Street over to the final street before. There's always oncoming traffic. That's kind of sketchy. I turn here onto 6th Street, crossed over 6th Street, got on I-35 right here on this from East 6th, 35.
Yeah.
All the way home to my house. I exit for Stastny on I-35 on the proper I-35 proper. This exit right here. Exited, and then it's right before the creek.
Okay.
Before Stastny. That'll bend to the right.
Okay.
So can you just can you tell me, are there traffic cameras like that you can review?
So so traffic cameras themselves, they actually don't record. I know, and we actually get this all the time, especially for crashes that we go to at like intersections or something, and they say, well, there's a camera up there. It's like, well, it's a live view of the camera, so that way the people down at our real-time crime center and transportation, that way they can see the camera and say, oh, hey, there's really big backup here. Let's mess with the lights. We're gonna have the light cycle a little different so we can get traffic pushed through. But as far as it actually recording, it doesn't do that, unfortunately. I know. Yeah.
So you're looking for fucking like live random private cameras to get this information?
But again, and this is, as I said before, whenever we first came in, like I've been able to corroborate a lot of stuff that you've already told me.
I'm not even asking about that. I just can't believe it. It's just mind blowing that that's the case.
Yeah.
I just assumed all cameras are.
It would be nice. It would be convenient, especially for us on our end whenever we start doing investigations.
Anyway, okay.
It's just
so that's the route I took on.
Okay. Perfect.
What have you told them about the helmet situation on the motorcycle? Did you talk about that?
The helmet?
The helmet on the motorcycle on Thursday. When you all talked in the police department, we're talking about DNA now, and I'm just thinking that.
Well, Mo wore the motorcycle helmet both trips because I want the passenger to wear a helmet, and I had no helmet on.
So, right, I'm just thinking if there were to be your hairs mixed with her hairs.
Yeah, on the helmet, potentially on the couch, potentially from a hug before when I arrived and when I left, potentially.
Yeah. Okay.
She had her own beer. We shared we got one beef burger and one veggie burger. She ate half of, we literally ate half. She ate half of one, I ate half of one.
Mm-hmm.
And we then switched them.
Yeah.
But like I said, there was no oral contact of any kind directly besides, I mean, that's I'm just, and we split two rum mixed drinks, and we like both sipped on them.
Yeah.
So that's, and then whatever contact from sitting on a motorcycle, having my helmet with hair on it, on her head.
Potentially, that's understandable.
Run through things.
Yeah. The helmet, whenever she put it on, did she take her hat off? 'Cause I saw that there is video.
You have to take a hat off. Yes.
Okay, so she had her hat off.
Yes.
Whenever she got off the motorcycle and she put the helmet up, did she put her hat back on, or was she just holding it in her hand?
I can't recall that.
Okay.
I can't recall.
Okay. Do you know of anyone that you could think of, just right off the top of your head, that would want to hurt Mo, or even kill Mo? I know that kill is a hard thing to even concept of anybody trying to or wanting to kill somebody else. So that's kind of why I'm saying, do you know of anybody that would want to hurt her?
You're saying off the top of my head, I don't know. I have not even researched the name of her ex-boyfriends.
Okay.
So I don't know them at all.
Yeah.
I haven't. I know that there was one that was just understandably angry that she was hanging out with me in October. Mm-hmm. Am I implicating somebody? I'm just stating a fact. That's all I would say.
Of course.
To that.
Of course.
In Austin, I don't know.
Okay.
I can't answer that. I don't have any information regarding that.
Okay. And of course I have to ask you, did you kill Mo?
I did not kill Mariah.
Okay. All right. Is there anything that you can think of that would help us in our investigation that you haven't told us yet?
Find some fucking cameras.
Yeah, we've been working on that.
Find some fucking cameras.
Yeah.
Can't you activate phones like
your phone?
Voice activated? Isn't there any way to get a microphone to access a microphone on a phone? There's no way to access a microphone.
No, I mean not unless it was not unless it was like a voice memo or something that was like recorded on the actual phone, data saved onto a device.
Your device has personal location services. Your phone is checking in constantly, and so, I mean it's not necessarily a precision method, but it's helpful. It's helpful for corroboration.
Yes, 100%.
They have ways to corroborate. It's just not as straightforward as you want it to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Get this cheek swab.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
I'm so sorry you had to do 6 hours of this. You're exhausted now. I can't imagine 4 times this level of questioning and forced remembering, and in the middle of the trauma. It's like a whole new trauma. sounds like there was another phone going. That's what we were talking about that email yesterday. It sounds like they've got a couple of phones that seemed current.
Couple of phones?
So the one that they took from Kaitlin that was described as orange, and then he said a black phone in a bag, and to me it seemed like that was different from your old phones in a drawer, and that's why he was asking us yesterday for the codes to Caitlin's phones, and I thought he must have meant yours plus hers, but it sounds like they got two from her. It doesn't necessarily mean anything, and it's information that they have, that they're looking at, that we were not aware of, and that's all it means. I do trust them to look at the boyfriend.
I don't really care. I don't want to, I'm not suggesting.
Facts bear themselves out. That's just the truth about everything. Facts bear themselves out. And it's not because of something we have any control over. I mean, we as individual people, not you and me, but events unfold. And they unfold outside of our control over it. And I believe they're looking hard. And I believe they'll come to a sound conclusion. I am very glad that you aren't reporting on the last 5 days you spent with Kaitlin, because that would be an excruciating thing to talk about, right? So I'm glad that there was that separation, and so you can, with certainty, pinpoint the very limited conversation, and I think rather than muddying it by y'all haven't spent time together, it's able to separate your facts from things you've gathered by virtue of being in conversations, because that happens all the time. And I hope this is the last time they have to talk to you, and you have the right to say no more.
Hey, sorry, I did not actually have the cell phone search warrant printed out, so that's what took me so long.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that y'all got both of those. So this one's for the cell phone.
Great, thanks.
And then this one is for the buckle.
Okay, great. Y'all testing in-house?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, we'll
In the APD lab, yeah. So much has to be sent to DPS, and that just puts you back 9 months.
Dadgummit, I don't have my gloves. I'm so sorry. There were supposed to be gloves in here. There's not. I'll be back in 2 seconds.
This is faster than a COVID test, and then we're done.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that. Alright. Try this again. So, off the top of your head, since I'm still trying to figure it, since we're still trying to get in contact with Kaitlin, do you know where she would be staying?
I don't know.
Okay.
Where she would be staying.
Would she stay at y'all's property in Lockhart?
I've been there to the Saturday, Sunday, and she was not there.
Okay.
You were staying there.
I was staying there.
Okay. Have you been back by your house since?
I was at my
then?
house all afternoon yesterday, loading
Okay.
up a Cummins motor and 2 axles and some transmissions. Just
Okay.
doing shit that that needed to be done for the last year.
Of course.
And yeah, I took a shower at my house and
Yeah.
grabbed my bicycle.
Yeah.
I'm meeting a Dutch friend who was in town for that race out in Lockhart this afternoon to go for a bike ride because he thinks it's a good idea for me to ride.
Okay.
Get some exercise.
Alright. So all I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take both these and just swab like the inside of your cheek here, and then just the inside of your other cheek as well, and that's it.
Sure.
Alright. Alright. That is it, sir.
So these can serve as just any DNA, like any.
No, so the whole purpose of the DNA is going to be basically just to compare it.
Yeah, of course.
On the scene.
Of course.
That's it. I mean, as
But
far as us, you know, saying like,
exactly
hey, we're
hair.
gonna put this into a database, or that's not.
No, I don't mean that. I mean
No.
like that. Cheek cells are. You can identify hair. You can identify. Well, you can fingerprints, but you can identify. You could say like.
Of course.
Any body.
Yeah.
Deposit like hair shedding, if anything.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well.
Cheeks easier on you than blood.
Yes. Yeah. Easier on all of us, actually. It's, yeah. Again.
Is there anything else?
No, I mean, thank you for coming down. It's a huge help, honestly. You know, and I've explained to multiple people that have been calling us that, like, hey, I don't know if this is gonna help. I mean, whatever you think might be like the smallest detail, it might be huge for us, just based of stuff that we find out.
It's just such a mundane experience.
Yeah, it's something that nobody ever wants to be a part of and hopes that they're never a part of.
Well, I just mean from a memory basis. I've grown up in Austin. I've lived here for 35 years. I've driven all these roads so many times. I've seen sketchy things. I've seen normal things, and I have so many memories. You know, and it was just another mundane Austin evening of going to a pool and going to get some food. You know, I've dropped a friend off hundreds of times at their apartment or whatever house after a motorcycle ride, and yeah, so.
Okay. Yeah, if your dad does talk to Kaitlin again, you know, please,
Let
you
you
know,
know.
pass on the information, or at least, at the very least, see if she'll even provide her attorney's name for us, and that way, I mean, we can just get in contact with the attorney. If she doesn't want to necessarily speak with us, that's fine too.
Was your dad just calling to check in because she's a member of the family, or
yeah,
what?
essentially.
Okay.
She's been a part of our lives for 3+ years.
Do you think that she would, and I'm not saying run, quote unquote, but to be more comfortable, do you think that she would go back home to Detroit to be with family?
I think that's very possible.
Okay.
I think that's very possible. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And again, I'm not necessarily saying, you know, she's running or anything, but
you can say whatever you want. It's your job to solve this. So I don't take anything personal.
Okay.
You know, we just met under these circumstances.
Yeah.
I'm, again, relatively intelligent person, so I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And I don't take it personally, nor do I
If,
jump to any conclusions.
if at any point in time, if you are just sitting around the house and you're thinking, oh crap, like, I remember there was this, you know, either, you know, just write it down on a sheet of paper. You can either just call me or you can call your attorney and say, hey, I remember this.
Did I tell you, I told the detective the other day, but it was kind of not, it didn't seem like the right time. There was Thursday night after the search, after the warrant,
Yeah.
after I talked to you, Friday morning when Kaitlin and I walked to the coffee shop, we walked outside
You didn't.
the house. I did?
No, you didn't. No, you're right. You wanted to tell them.
I'm sure they saw, I have 3 motorcycles. One is in Lockhart, 2 are at my house. The big BMW weighs 600 pounds. It's a big fucker.
Yeah.
Heavy. It was parked between my mom's little white Honda and Caitlin's Jeep in our driveway on a slope. Kaitlin and I decided to walk to the coffee shop. Friday morning again, after everything, and I have $50,000 to $100,000 worth of bicycles in my house.
Yeah.
I have motorcycles. I have valuables relative. Transmissions, cars, whatever, parked. I've never had any property damage.
Yeah.
Friday morning, my motorcycle was on a kickstand leaning to the left. It was pushed all the way to the right, and I sent myself these photos. All the way to the right. Sorry, give me a moment to find them. Onto, pushed over effectively. Big bike. It would take, I don't think most females could do this.
Yeah.
Just because of the weight. 600, it has cases, you know. It was pushed all the way over to the right side where there's no kickstand onto Caitlin's car, and was literally leaning on her car, would have fallen except that her car caught it and the handlebar dented her car a little bit.
Yeah.
So that was extremely bizarre.
Yeah.
Extremely bizarre in that I've just never had any vandalism. There was no windows broken, there was no damage beyond that. Somebody forcefully pushed it over.
Okay.
And it would take, again, I am a bike racer, I know how to balance the thing, but it's heavy fucking bike. I took photos because it was really,
okay,
so
yeah.
it was leaning the other way, and it was pushed, the wind cannot push this bike.
Yeah.
And it dented her front fender a little bit where the handlebar impacted it. This was the bike that I rode with Mo on.
Okay.
I didn't hear anything that night. I mean, I was awake for a lot of the night, in shock in my head. So there was that in my driveway. This is after the police had come to serve the warrant. The handlebar contacted it somewhere and left a scratch, dent, whatever. Anyway, and additionally, the entire, this is the driveway is right here. This is the main road. This is dry stack that I did many years ago. This entire row of stones was flipped over. The entire row. Now this could be neighborhood kids doing something weird in the middle of the night. I didn't hear it either. And these weren't just pulled, they were you can see the impact.
Yeah.
They were flipped.
Yeah.
Limestone doesn't,
No, yeah.
it chips if it falls hard. So this entire row of stone, and at the very end, under this stone, there were $2 bills.
That's weird.
That's very weird.
Like that. Again, this happened in the middle. It must have happened at night because it wasn't. Do you want me to send you these photos? Would that be helpful? And
If
I mean,
you
this
could,
is,
I
you
would
said
really-
anything, this is something.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised I didn't hear it. It wouldn't be that loud, but it took over. Like, that is fucking bizarre, because that would take at least 3 to 5 minutes to do that.
Yeah.
And it's so arbitrary.
And
what a weird fucking thing to do.
And you noticed this whenever you woke up.
Well,
I'm sorry, whenever you
I
came
walked
outside.
out at like probably at 8:30.
Okay. Walked
outside to go to the coffee shop spokesman at the end of the subdivision I'm in.
Okay. And when was the last person that you know of was outside that would have seemed like everything normal, stones not flipped over, motorcycle not tipped over?
I came home after the search, after I went to my father's house. After we had been in the room all day, I went to my father's house, and I think I went home. It was like a little after dark on Thursday, and I parked. It wasn't a Honda. It was this gold Mercedes that I just recently purchased that I drove here on Thursday. That was in the same car that was in the driveway when you approached.
Okay.
That and the gold Mercedes and the Jeep were the two. Anyway, I pulled in, same spot, and everything was normal. So
And you said that was around
Thursday night. This was after dark Thursday till Friday AM, say 7 or 8, because I was up at like 7. I would have heard anything weird.
Did Kaitlin ever go outside to like at any point just to see if I can narrow down maybe the time frame of?
No, she didn't.
Okay. No neighbors or anything?
Yesterday I have a neighbor at the house. Like, if you follow the row of rocks, the house kind of across the street at the T.
Okay.
His name's Robbie. He's just a good friend. This house right here.
Okay.
He had an incident a year and a half ago where some guy on crystal meth or something broke into his back patio and stole pulled a gun out of his gun locker, and anyway, so Robbie installed cameras. I asked Robbie if he had any information or any cameras pointing that way that might add information, and Robbie said, no, unfortunately I don't have any information. But I do have essentially, he said Kaitlin came by on Thursday the 12th, and she rang my doorbell, and I have the Nest video of it, and he sent me that, and it's essentially 2:35 p.m.
Okay.
And she's effectively, she was a little distraught.
Yeah.
And she said, I don't have a phone, or I have a bit of an emergency. She's not freaked out. I assume this is when the detectives arrived and took her phone. So this all seems to check out. Anyway, I'm just yes, there is this. But at first he had said it was Tuesday, and I was like,
yeah. Your neighbor Kaitlin across the street with Colin.
But then he said, oh, sorry, that was actually
Okay, how are you?
Thursday, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Wondering if I could trouble you to use your cell phone. There's kind of a situation going on, and I can't get access to my cell phone, and I need to make a phone call. It's kind of urgent.
I'm actually in Houston right now. I'm not even there.
Nobody's here?
No, I don't have anybody here at the house.
No worries, thanks anyways.
I'm so sorry. Right next door on the other side, they're usually home, just on both sides of me.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Of course, if you need any else help, just call me back. I can call somebody for you from here.
Okay, I will do that if I can't get a hold of them. Thank you again.
Okay, sounds good.
Do you know if he has any other cameras that would have been facing that way that would have shown those rocks or shown somebody
I asked
in your
him, and
driveway?
he said I have one and it's out of batteries.
Okay. What about any other neighbors over there.
Not in the middle. It was at night.
Okay.
So my street's pretty cool. There's walkers during the walking hours, and then I don't see anybody at night, you know.
Okay.
Like I said, I pee in my front yard occasionally, and I never feel like it's
Okay.
in the side of my yard, not the front.
With all of that, you know, something flipping the rocks over, knocking your bike over, is there anybody that just doesn't like you? Like anybody that is pissed off at you that wants to hurt you?
I don't have any bad blood like this I have no, I can't. I mean, there's the real estate thing in Lockhart, but it's not like, it's literally a business. It was our friends who decided they needed to buy this property despite showing it to us, but it's not, they wouldn't do anything like weird like that.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I can't say so. Nor have I had any experience with anybody like, I'm gonna get you, motherfucker, or anything, or like, I just haven't.
Okay.
Try not to have those.
What would it take to steal that motorcycle?
To steal? Knowledge of a motorcycle and very strong legs, and you'd have to be tallish to, I mean, stealing a motorcycle is like, it's possible within, it's not hard, but you have to have knowledge of what you're doing. You know, someone could have tried to steal it.
Yeah.
And like just realized, oh, it's too heavy, fell over. But then the rock thing is like beyond me. That just seems so fucking bizarre. And also, they didn't throw a rock through a house window or a car window to cause any real damage.
Yeah.
So, but like leaving $2 bills under one of the rocks is very I'm not a detective again. This is just all the information.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I have. That was fucking weird.
After a bunch of strange things were happening, some more strange things.
Yes, and also, which begs the question, can I have my firearm back?
So it's being processed right now.
Okay. Can I buy another firearm?
Yeah.
Okay. There's no issue with that right now being a part of a investigation.
Oh yeah, that was it's currently being processed right now.
Yeah.
And then after processing, then depending on what all comes from the processing, I mean, if it's determined that it's not evidence, then it's not evidence.
But in terms of if he were to buy a firearm now, it's not going to end up in a report as he walked out of the police department and went and bought a firearm?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all.
This is the only time in my life I've ever thought it would be actually maybe more out of peace of mind having a firearm.
Yeah.
No. Just because of the nature of this shit. Someone was shot, so in close time and space continuum to me.
Was anybody else's property in the neighborhood messed up that night?
I didn't ask.
Okay. I didn't know if there was like a Nextdoor app or something there that people might have been commenting like, hey, there was something happened.
I don't love mowing my lawn, so I've never been really active in that.
I gotcha.
Community. And I also just like was just feeling like bizarre that there were like, I don't even know what the visual was. I wasn't there, but
okay.
You know, there's been like a search at my house, so I just wasn't reaching out to neighbors.
Of course.
Just gonna probably quietly move to Lockhart after all this is over. And quit cycling probably.
Well, I mean,
least of anybody's troubles.
It's not the time to make big decisions.
Yeah. Anyway, anything else, sir?
No, not unless there's anything that you can think of that would help us.
No. I mean, I assume you blanketed the whole area for cameras. No, no door camera, no Nest, no.
So a lot of those videos, those are all still trickling in as well. So.
Okay.
So even if we don't have it now, people could still be.
I just thought it was going to
send stuff in.
I thought there would be traffic. There were cameras where you can just see. Okay. I spend so much fucking money on cars and gasoline. The fucking APD spends so much fucking money on gasoline. It's insane. Okay, that's all I have.
Okay.
That's my complaint.
Yeah. Alright, but yeah, I mean, again, if anything weird happens, especially that, like what you showed me on the photos, like please,
It was
either reach out to me or reach out to her and.
It was a very strange time for that to happen. There was no real.
Yeah. Very much so.
Story breaking.
Yeah.
At that point. So anyway.
I hope anything was helpful. Oh yeah, definitely.
and maybe that person can help her out, you know, if she needs to, you know, a day or two. But just to give her enough notice, you know, that way she can prepare for the possibility.
So what do you think, so should I, like, I've shown, obviously I've given that
Okay, okay.
I've shown.
All right, Mom, well then I'll see,
Twice
yeah.
connected, she's like, I understand, I've shown,
Okay, we'll
no
figure it
way,
out
no
tonight,
way
all
we
right.
can like
Who is he with right now? Okay. And just out of curiosity, was there any, CPS involvement or any caseworker that visited you guys, or? Okay. Mhm. a real challenge with someone of his, in his position and of his age, right, getting someone like him engaged in ongoing counseling and some therapy is a real challenge. And what you really need is that person that they are connected to, that they trust, that they do at least have a good relationship with, to be able to help encourage and facilitate that process. Cause I always knew my people before, like which ones were more, they were on night or weekend shifts, like which ones I knew would be.
They pointed out. Or you
No,
need
it
to
was
put,
always Brad and Roger.
I need to put a tip jar next to it.
Oh my goodness. I keep hearing the hoopla up there. Anything going on?
They're just discussing the whole bicycle case. I mean, I think they've got her on it. They're just trying to shore up phone records and, I mean, they got her car on video circling the neighborhood, but.
Oh, did they?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't hear
good.
that part, yeah.
So apparently there's an app where she can monitor, and she can see what bike route she takes, and they share it.
Yeah, well, I recognized it, not because I've used it, but because some of the guys here,
Mhm.
some of the, they're all into working out and
Mhm,
fitness, and they
mhm.
use it to track each other, like, and to see,
Yeah, so she
everybody's
could get on
progress.
there and see where she was at, and knew when she was coming back to the house, so she drove the neighborhood, and then a cam picked her up, circling the block, and then right after he left, she pulls up. I know, psycho.
Very much
Psycho,
so. Oh
yeah.
my gosh. Well, and if it's true that in fact she had been, like there had been communication even
Mhm.
prior to and leading up to, I mean, this was like brewing, man. She was
Mhm.
already
She
fuming
came in
before she
here.
even got into town.
Did you see her when she was here?
Mhm.
She's like stone cold.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's what was kind of wild was all the
It's
stuff she
crazy.
just did.
Crazy.
Mhm. And today I didn't hear any of what went on with
I didn't
him,
catch a
but
lot of it either.
it
I'm trying
didn't.
to pin down the video calls on the whole DA's office retaliation on the
Oh yeah,
case of
yeah.
Von Randolph, because he's running his mouth at the jail. He's like, yeah, DA's gonna take the stand on my behalf, and he's gonna testify against fugitive, and yeah, he's going off right now. So we're just getting all our ducks in a row, and then we'll attack.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's a nightmare.
I
It's crazy.
bet.
It's crazy.
I bet. Like everything else.
Yep. All right, thank you, thank you.
Not a
I needed
problem.
them to pick me up.
then what I did was Christine has a brother and a sister, and they wanted to file as well, so I did presumptive applications with them, with Christine as the victim and them listed as a claimant. So I did separate ones for each of them.
But the brother, Luis Limon, was he a victim?
No, he's a claimant for Christina Limon.
He just wants, for counseling purposes, or?
Yeah, counseling and
Okay.
travel, like none of her siblings live here.
Yeah,
And
they don't need their own application, they just need to be added to Christine's, claim file. Listed as a claimant. Let's see. Yeah. And what they'll do is when they get to, I think, yeah, cause they probably did a search using the, yeah, cause we got 3 applications on 5-4 under the presumptive eligibility pipeline, and the applications list Christina as the victim.
yeah, I was gonna say, they list Christina as a victim, cause that's what I did. I listed Christina as a victim, and then I listed one with Louis Limon as a claimant, and then one with Patricia
Patricia, yeah.
Rodriguez.
Yeah, we don't need 3 applications, with 1 application, just listing them as claimants under the original,
See, and I was always told they needed their own, like, so, when you have,
now, if they,
well, here's the deal, this is what I wanna know and clarify. When we have, like, for example, this Hispanic family with 1,000,000 claimants, the limits of the benefits, like for counseling, it's not per application then, you're telling me it's per person?
per person.
Okay, so cause that was, I think, the confusion and the hesitation in putting so many people on one application all as claimants, even though they don't have a right to be, was not infringing on anyone's ability to get their full benefit for potential counseling or travel or anything. So you're telling me that all of that is separated and it's all per person, not per application?
It's gonna be all under 1 application, and once we reach the 50,000, that max the claim out.
But
Cause
you
if
know, you
it's
guys, but
Patricia,
what I'm saying is you guys have
Patricia's a
limits,
victim,
you guys have limits for like each benefit though, that's what I'm worried about.
for the counseling,
Mhm.
they all have limits.
Yeah.
But because Patricia and the brother Luis weren't victims, you just list them on Christine's application as claimants.
Okay. So obviously, I mean, I didn't do that in your situation, I, you know, did it this
Exactly,
way, so,
you just list the 2 applications listing Christina as the victim, and on one of them where Patricia's listed, and then the other one
it's
on
Louis.
where it says Louis.
So then how
Because
do,
these applications, what they're gonna do is once they get to them, they're gonna, they'll leave them out as due to Christine's original claim, and they'll attach them to Christine's claim file.
so they'll add them to Christine's claim number?
Correct.
Okay, okay. So how will I know when that happens? Cause like, I don't have, cause when I look at the portal, like, all I have access to is just to see, like, if there's a bill there. So how do I know? Cause I don't get to see claimants. Or should I just give Louis and Patricia her claim number and tell them they can start submitting anything they have under Christine's claim number? all live 3 different places. I mean, neither of those 2 other claimants